guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. For today's video I have a quick first impressions review, demo, swatches of the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. Guys, look at this guy. It is so beautiful. I love all the unique shades. This is a limited edition palette, so I knew I wanted to get my hands on it. The look I've got on my eyes right now, I use a combination of Lure, Parallel, Dimension, and also Sphinx up here as well to create this look. I think it's colourful but still really wearable, but very glam as well at the same time. Absolutely loved how the shadows turned out on my eyes today. I definitely want to have a little bit more of a play around with it, especially using this really fluoro color here called Sphere. So if you're interested in seeing my first impressions review on the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette, then just keep watching. So firstly guys, this is what the palette looks like when you get it. It just comes in this black kind of soft touch cardboard packaging, has a list of the ingredients and things on the back, plus then a little picture of all of the shadows. And when you open it up, it has this kind of black felt velvety material on it with the kind of prism detailing in here. It's really, really cool. It reminds me a little bit of Pink Floyd. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the kind of CD cover of that, but it reminds me of that. And then it just says Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette, and just the ingredients list there on the back for you as well. Now when you open it up, it just has the normal mirror on the top here, and then these are the shades here and that little brush that you get. Guys, this brush isn't super bad, but I don't really use them, so I just get rid of that. So you have 14 shades here, and they kind of range from more neutral kind of colors, and you've got a lot of these kind of dual tones here as well, and some nice pops of color. So you've got some really nice transition shades, Satin, Parallel, Eden, a really nice kind of transition deepening up shades as well. We have a nice black in here as well. Then also some really beautiful neutral shimmer shades in Eternal and Sphinx and Pyramid as well. So there's a nice variety of here of cool and warm shades as well. You can definitely create a really nice shimmered look if you're after that, but then if you wanted to really spice it up, you can go in with a few of the purples and then these fun pops of color here as well. So initially this palette reminds me a lot of Subculture. So these are the two side by side here. My friend Angie here on YouTube showed these palettes in a recent video together, and I totally agree with her. They are definitely meant to be together. I think these palettes are beautiful side by side. Subculture being a little bit more muted and toned down, but the colors in Prism are a little bit more vibrant, if you know what I mean. So I definitely can see myself using these ones interchangeably together. Now working with these palettes, I did find, and I'll leave a link up here somewhere to my first impressions review on the Subculture palette. Now this one I did have a little bit of trouble blending this one here, but with Prism I had no issues whatsoever. I feel like if you're going to be using one of the dark browns here, it's called Parallel here in the Prism palette, but it's called Fudge here in the Subculture palette. If you want a dark brown, definitely go with the dark brown out of the Prism palette because it blends out so much better. Fudge in the Subculture palette was an absolute nightmare to blend out, and I feel like it almost like stuffed up my entire look, just that shade. I feel like the blendability of the Prism palette is much better than Subculture. I feel like it's a little bit more similar to the Modern Renaissance palette. And in case you want to see a comparison of all three of the palette, I'll see if I can hold these all together. So this is what all of the palettes look like here. We've got Modern Renaissance in the middle, Subculture on the end there, and then this is the Prism palette. So I feel like all of these shades here are very different. I don't feel like there's a lot of duplicates besides a dark brown kind of color, which they all have. I love that the Prism palette has a black, but these palettes all together I feel is like all that you would need. Personally, my favorite I think is the Modern Renaissance palette, just because I really love warm tone colors. This is a beautiful palette. If you haven't tried it, it's stunning. I love it. Probably next would then be, for me so far, would be the Prism palette, then followed by Subculture. Subculture only because it's not a palette that I can pick up and I'm like, right, I know the look that I'm going to do and there's not going to be any issues. I feel like Subculture is a palette that I pick up when I want to challenge myself and create something a little bit more different, but it's definitely not an everyday palette that I would gravitate towards to like I do the Modern Renaissance. I feel like the Prism palette is kind of that nice in-between where you've got some really funky, edgy kind of colors, but then you've also got that really neutral palette as well. So I feel like this is a good in-between. But I love all three of these palettes and I'm absolutely loving the Prism palette so far. So let's just jump right into the swatches.
So starting off with the top row, we have Lucid, Eden, Unity, Sphinx, Osiris, Sphere, and Obsidian. And then moving on to the second row, we have Dimension, Parallel, Pyramid, Throne, Satin, Eternal, and Lure.
So as you can see from the swatches, some of these shades swatch really beautifully, others not so much. I was pretty disappointed with Osiris here. I thought it was going to be such a beautiful shimmery dark kind of royal purple color, but it swatches so shit. I really love the look of Throne here. It's swatched so beautifully. I love the kind of dark green with the kind of black base. It's so rich and vibrant. And I'm also really excited to play with Sphere. I felt like, or Fluoro Matte, I felt like it swatched actually quite well. I feel like Dimension, Pyramid, and also Eternal have that kind of chunky texture, which was also kind of in Adorn as well. So that kind of chunky texture is still in with those. So if you weren't a fan of that chunky look, you might not be interested or loving the shimmer shades in this palette. So those were the swatches, and I'm just going to move straight on to the demo now. So guys, I've already applied my base and set my eyelids, and I'm going to be taking the first shade for our transition color, and it's going to be Lure, and I'm going to be taking on a Morphe M441 brush. Just any large fluffy brush that you have will do. So I'm just going to pick that up and start applying that into my crease as our initial transition shade. Ooh, guys, it's a little bit patchy, this color, I think. It seems to be blending out okay now, though. It's just had a big focus of that pigment there, but it's actually blending out all right, so it's not too bad. So just using windscreen wiper motions and also little circular motions to blend that in throughout my crease. I am blowing this out quite a fair bit up through towards my brow bone. If you have a smaller kind of lid space here, I'd focus it a little bit more closer to your crease, but I have quite a lot of room between my crease and my brow. If I focus everything down here, the rest of the look kind of gets, I don't know, it kind of disappears. So I like to focus my crease colors up quite high. But again, it just depends on your eye shape. So just dipping back into that one again to build up this color. Again, focusing it on the outer kind of crease. And then feathering whatever's left on the brush towards our inner corner. I'm going to bring this right into the inner corner as well. I do find this color is a little bit patchy, in my opinion. Like, it's not a smooth blend. But I'm just going to continue to build it up until I've got like the intensity that I want. Now I feel like the best way to apply the shadow is to just straight go in and start moving it around in little circular motions. If I start going in a bit too more like windscreen wiper like this, I feel like it's a little bit patchy. So again, just feathering it out the outer corner as well to make sure everything's super blended. Next up, we're going to deepen up the crease. I'm going to take the shade Parallel. Whoa, guys, that's a lot of pigment. Just make sure you tap off that excess. You do not want to go in super heavy-handed with this shade. So I'm going to begin to place this on the outer corner here, but then also blend it into the crease as well. This shade is so much better than Fudge from the Subculture palette. I'd say if you've got both of them and you want to use a dark brown, I'd say pick this dark brown up over the Fudge in the Subculture palette. This is way better. It's not patchy at all. So I'm just going to press this into the outer corner and then slowly build it into the crease. And this one I am focusing right into the crease. I'm not blending it up too high at all. I am going to take it into the inner corner here because I am going to do a slight kind of cut crease as well. So if you bring that darker shade in there, it will really make the cut crease kind of stand out. That is such a nice brown shade. I love that. It's so pigmented but blends out really easily. I'm just going to blend out everything that we've done so far. I'm going to be taking a Morphe PK36 brush, and I'm just using this to blend out that crease because it's a bit more of a pointed crease. It's not going to kind of disperse the product too far up above the crease. I'm just going to go back in with that Parallel shade as well, again on that R39 brush, and I'm just going to build up the intensity of that. And then again on that PK36 brush, I'm just going to pick up a bit of Lure again, and I'm just going to blend out those edges. Guys, I'm loving this look so far. And then just on that original M411 brush, I'm just going to lightly buff out those edges. Now once I'm happy with how deep the crease is, I'm going to take my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC50. I'm just going to be taking on Morphe M432 brush, and I'm just going to begin to cut my crease. Best way I find to cut my crease is to look down. I have a mirror here, and I look down into the mirror, and then I begin to apply the concealer on my lid space here. I do bring it up. Just here. And then I like to kind of look forward. And it will kind of transfer a little bit, as you can see up there. And then I use that as my guide for my cut crease. I have a slight hooded eye. It's definitely not severely hooded, but it just means when I'm doing a cut crease, I like to bring the concealer up over that crease area just so you can see the shadow that we're actually going to use, otherwise it kind of disappears on me. Now once I've got the cut crease, I'm just going to take my finger and I'm just going to softly blend out those edges there, just so they're not super harsh. I'm going to go in with that PK36 brush just to blend out that little edge here. Look how much more open my eye is through here than if you just applied it on this little lid space here. It totally changes the shape of your eye. So I'm going to do the other eye and I'll be right back. Now once our crease is cut, I'm going to go in with Dimension. I'm going to place that all over the areas that we have just cut the crease where that concealer is sitting. So I'm going to be picking that up on a synthetic brush. This is just a Makeup Geek concealer brush, and I'm going to pick up that color Dimension on it, and I'm literally going to spray it with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus as well, just so we're getting as much pigment payoff as we can. Whoa! That color is beautiful. Oh my god. Has almost like little pink reflex in it. I just spot cleaned my brushes with the Models Prefer spot treatment for cleaning your brushes, and I swear it like burns my lids. It's like, oh my god, it's so painful. Like every brush that I've used is just burning the fuck out of my lids. Ugh. Next up, I'm going to apply a little bit of Sphinx just between where our outer corner meets that Dimension color there. I'm just flipping that brush over that we used beforehand, and I'm just going into that on the opposite side, and I'm just going to apply that just where those shadows meet for a little bit of a bronzy pop. I'm gonna say they're starting to look a little bit chunky with that Fix Plus. I don't know what it is. You can see that? It's starting to look like a little bit chunky on the lid. I don't know if I like that. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that Parallel color, and I'm actually going to take it on that PK36 brush, and I'm just going to deepen up that outer corner a little bit, just where we've applied Sphinx. So next up, we're going to move on to the lower lash. I'm going to take my Maybelline liner. This is in 16H Hulk, and I'm just going to apply this in my waterline and smudge it down along my lash line as well. So I'm firstly going to go back in with Lure again. I'm just going to begin to smoke out that lower lash line and that pencil that we just applied. I'm just going to be using a Domed Utility E34 brush from Sigma to do that. I'm being really careful as I don't want to bring it in through here. I find that when I bring the shadows too close in through towards my inner corner here, it really closes up my eyes and makes them look really tiny. So I just want to go about 2/3 of the way across that lower lash line and then kind of stop. Now with the more tapered pencil brush, this is a Makeup Geek pencil brush. I'm just going to be taking Parallel just on the tip of that, and I'm going to be playing this right in that outer corner as well, along that lower lash line, just to deepen it up. Stamping it kind of along that area there. And using that to kind of connect up to this outer corner. So then that's all kind of connected in a almost kind of C shape, I guess. Lightly blend out that lower lash line. Then we're going to go back in with Parallel again. I'm just going to begin to just darken up that outer crease again ever so slightly. So that really just ties the whole look in together. And then I'm just going to take a Buff and Blend E39 brush just over the edges here, just to make sure everything's softly blended. Feeling like I want to apply a little bit more of Lure as well, just on this outer V here, because I feel like it blends out quite harsh. I'm going to apply some mascara and some false lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I have my lashes on. I use the Socialized Vixen lashes, and I also apply just some mascara to my top and bottom of lashes. Don't mind the glue, it's still drying. So let's just move on to the face. So for my subtle contour, I'm going to be taking my Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer. I love this for a contour. It's super cool toned, and it works really well on my fair skin without making me look like grey and dead. So I love this bronzer. So I'm just going to be taking on a PK14 brush. I've been loving this brush. I got it in my MorpheMe subscription for October. I'll leave a link up here if you want to check out my MorpheMe and what brushes I got, but I'm absolutely loving it. And I'm going to be going in, whoa, this mirror is really effing dirty. I'm just going to contour the face here, just very lightly though. I'm using just circular motions, but also blending upwards. I don't really want to bring the contour down here because it can drag the face down. So I'm just contouring in those hollows of the cheekbones here. God, I feel like these lashes just like made this look. Does anyone feel like that? I feel like as soon as you apply lashes on, it just brings the whole look together. So once that contour's all on, I'm going to be bronzing up my face using my Hourglass Ambient Lighting bronzer. And I'm just taking this on a Morphe R7 brush. And I'm just dipping into that bronzer and going to town really on my face. I love this bronzer. It just gives such a beautiful glow. Kind of really warms up my skin without making it look orange and a little bit oompa lumpy really. Then for blush, I'm going to be taking the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in Party, and I'm just going to be applying that to the apples of my cheek and then blending up towards my temples here. Now moving on to highlighter, I'm going to keep it with Anastasia. I'm going to be taking the Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit. So I'm going to be taking a mixture of Forever Young, Kitty Cat and Forever Lit here, just on a Morphe R14 brush. Firstly, I'm just going to wet the brush just with a bit of MAC Fix Plus, tap off a little bit so it's not as like wet, and I'm just going to go in with Kitty Cat and Forever Young, just tapping into each, and then I'm going to apply it on my cheeks. I just start to dab it in first. I feel like that Kitty Cat really kind of complements the purples in this look. The pink really plays off. And then because it's looking a little bit dark straight on, I'm going to take a little bit of Forever Lit and just dust it over the top. Woo. Then a little bit on my Cupid's bow, tip of the nose, and also down the bridge of my nose here. And then for my brow bone and finish off my eye highlight, I'm just going to take a combination of those shades. I'm going to apply it to the top of my brow bone here and also my inner corner. I really want a nice bright inner corner highlight. Firstly, for my lips, I applied this Rimmel Kate Moss lipstick in number 54. It's Rock and Roll Nude. And then over the top, I applied this other Kate Moss lipstick in 42. And then just a lip gloss over the top. This is my Oh My Gloss lip gloss in Purr Glossy Cat. So guys, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this little first impressions mini review. I've only used this palette once so far. I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to use a little bit more of these warm tones next time I use it. I really love how this look turned out. So if you guys are interested in seeing any more tutorials using the Prism palette, let me know down below. Don't forget to leave a big like, thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to my channel if you are new so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the week, guys, and I'll see you all in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.